Ceremonial Parade and Review. During the first semester, you were taught and have learned the Manual of Arms in the School of Soldier without arms and with arms. This time, you're going to integrate or use what you have learned. However, this time, your performance will involve aptness of execution, discipline, cohesiveness as a group as requirement for your practical in Ceremonial Parade and Review. We will have a separate instructional video for you to see and observe how the ceremonial parade and review is conducted. In the context of online distance learning, we have limited the number of participants involved on the video. Pay attention on the role of the cadets and make an outline so it will be easier for you to follow and get the sequence. Good day, everyone. Our topic for this morning is Ceremonial Parade and Review. And the sequence of my presentation would be as follows. The definition of terms, the distinctive features of parade and review, the sequence of the parade and review. The sequence of the program. Number 1, formation of troops. Number 2, sound off. 3, honors to the nation. 4, presentation. 5, manual of arms. 6, report. 7, publishing of orders. 8, officers center march. 9, pass and review. Before moving on to the details about the ceremonial parade and review, let us tackle first the definition of parade. A parade is a military ceremony wherein a body of troops is formed before its commanding officer or other high-ranking officers for the display of its condition and its members. Not only that one, this will also check the discipline and cohesiveness of the troops. It includes exercise in the manual of arms, the report on the members of the various units present or encountered for the publication of orders, and others. Moving on to the distinctive features of ceremonial parade and review. The preparation and organization of troops for a parade are similar to those for a review. The distance between the troops and the commander is greater than for a review. The band conducts sound off, the inspection is omitted, reports are rendered, orders are published. The officers and guidons are marched forward and centered on the commander. Moving on, the sequence of the battalion ceremonial parade. Sequence number 1, formation of troops, units, or this pertains to the companies who will be involved in the ceremonial parade and review from Alpha down to the last company, are moved to their position on the ready line in the most convenient manner. The commander prescribes the assembly area, the routes, sequence, and the time of arrival on the line. He and his staff takes their posts prior to the adjutant's call. The procedure for moving from the ready line to the final line is the same as that for a review. To give you a clear picture of the setup during the ceremonial parade and review, as shown is the orientation of the field, assembly of troops, markers, route of the troops. So if you could observe in our picture, we have the reviewing officer. In our case, this is our grandstand. Opposite side to that is the final line where the troops are formed after moving on from the assembly area or ready line. right side of the reviewing officer is the troop commander and staff. Then right side of the troop commander and staff is the battalion formation. You have their Alpha, Colors, and Bravo. So from their initial formation, if you could observe, the route of our ceremonial parade and review is counterclockwise. So the battalion will move forward, then liko sa kaliwa, then to the final line. Okay, then the sequence of the program will be held here most of the time. Then after that one, the pasamasid or the review, the battalion will come after the band following the counterclockwise route. So they're going to salute here, fronting the reviewing officer, then exit and back to the middle of the field facing the reviewing officer where certain ceremonies are held. So take note of the route of the ceremonial parade and review as most or more of the sequence will be discussed in the succeeding slides. We are now on the sequence of events and individual actions. As soon as the troops are ready, the troop adjutant from his position near the band directs, "Ihujat ang paghanda." The band immediately sounds attention call to signal the start of the ceremony.
Attention call has just been sounded.
Upon hearing the attention call, all company commanders face about, bring their units to attention and right shoulder arms, then face front. The troop adjutant again directs, "Ihujat ang tawag adjudante." The band sounds the adjutant's call, immediately followed by a marching music. At this point, the company commanders are to be ready for the pasulungkad. The troops will follow the route for them to be positioned at the final line. Prior to the final line, when the platoons are already perpendicular with their markers, the company commanders command kaliwang panig, CAD. Platoon guides go to port arms, then move in front of their respective markers in double time facing the adjutant. Upon reaching their position, they halt at predetermined number of steps, then execute order arms. When the platoons are already at their markers, the company commanders command balangay to. When the troops is already positioned at the final line, Alpha will be at the right side and Bravo on the left side, while Colors will be staying at the middle facing the grandstand. The troop adjutant designates Alpha Company as the base company or the A Balangay, then positions himself midway between the line of troops and the troop commander. At the last note of A Balangay, the company commanders simultaneously order Tuntun sa kanan. This means that all companies will align with their base company or the Alpha Company. The company commanders simultaneously face about then order Tuntun sa kanan. The platoon leaders simultaneously face about and command Tuntun sa kanan, after which they face to the half left except the last platoon leader who faces to the half right and march directly and align at the right of the first squad leader, last element of the first squad, for the last platoon counting 13 steps or close with the 14th step. The platoon leaders align facing the troop adjutant's former position, then face about immediately after closing on the 14th step, except for the last platoon leader who remains facing the troop adjutant's former position. Immediately, the first platoon leader orders tatag, followed by the second platoon leader up to the last platoon leader who prolongs the word. The platoon leader aligns the platoon by taking short steps to the right or left as necessary to see down the squad. After giving the prolonged order tatag, the last platoon leader executes 2 left side steps as visual reference for the other platoon leaders. Continuously, he will return to his former position by executing 2 right side steps. After the last platoon leader has executed the 2 right side steps, the other platoon leaders simultaneously execute left face or right face for the last platoon leader and march 5 half steps, closes on the 6th half step. Then face the second squad. Immediately, the first platoon leader orders tatag, followed by the second platoon leader up to the last platoon leader who prolongs the word. After the prolonged order tatag, all platoon leaders simultaneously execute left face or right face for the last platoon leader and march 5 half steps, closes on the 6th half step, then face the last squad. Immediately, the first platoon leader orders tatag, followed by the second platoon leader up to the last platoon leader who prolongs the word. After giving the prolonged order tatag, the last platoon leader executes 2 right side steps as visual reference for the other platoon leaders. Continuously, he will return to his former position by executing 2 left side steps. After the last platoon leader has executed the 2 left side steps, the other platoon leaders simultaneously execute right face or left face for the last platoon leader and march 5 full steps, closed on the 6th step, toward the front edge of the platoon, approximately 2 steps forward of the platoon, then face down the line. Simultaneously, all platoon leaders command handa rap, then march forward toward the center of the platoon, counting 5 steps, and then execute right turn towards his position, closing on the 14th step or approximately 6 steps from the elements. The platoon leaders, followed by the company commanders, then faces front. The troop adjutants now directs mga gabay sumalunan. The company commanders commands mga gabay sumalunan, CAD, then faces front. The troop adjutants now directs tikas, pahinga. The company commanders commands in succession, tikas, pahinga. Moving on to the second sequence of the ceremony, sound off. After the battalion has been formed, aligned, and given parade rest on the final line, the adjutant directs ihudyat and assumes the position of parade rest. He remains facing the formation. At the directive ihudyat, the band plays 3 sound-off chords. At the conclusion of the 3rd chord, the band moves forward, playing a march in quick time. The band executes a left turn to march across the front of the troops. At the left of the line of troops, the band counter-marches and returns over the same ground to the right of the line. After passing beyond the right of the line of troops, the band executes a right turn, counter-marches again, and halts in its original position. When the band has halted, it ceases playing at the next convenient place in the music and will again play 3 sound-off chords. The third sequence of the ceremony is honors to the nation. The troop adjutant, after the band has completed sound off, assumes the position of attention and directs mga balangay humanda at tanghal sandata. Balangay means company. The company commanders assume the position of attention, face about, and command in succession. So you have there in succession means Alpha, followed by Bravo, Charlie, so on and so forth. Balangay da, then tanghal ta. They face front and salute. When all units are in tanghalta, the adjutant faces front and salutes. Band plays the national anthem. The battalion commander and his staff execute on his command Pugay Kamay na on the first note of the music. Military spectators rise and execute hand salute and its equivalent for the civilians. Presentation is the fourth sequence of the ceremonial parade and review. Upon completion of the national anthem, the battalion commander and his staff execute on his command, Baba Kamay na. The adjutant terminates his salute, faces about and directs Baba Sandata. The company commanders terminate their salute, face about and command Baba Ta, then face front. When all units are at order arms, the adjutant faces about, salutes and reports, Ginoo, handa na po ang patikas. The battalion commander returns the salute and commands, Sumalunan ka. The adjutant trots forward, passes by the battalion commander's right, and takes his post as the right flank member of the staff. When the troop adjutants passed by the battalion commander's right, the battalion commander and his staff execute on his command, Antabay Bunot, Kalis. The fifth sequence of the ceremony is Manual of Arms. After the adjutant has joined the staff, the battalion commander commands such movements in the Manual of Arms as he may desire. The commander directs humanda sa pagsasanay sa paghawak ng sandata. He then in sequence commands sa kanang balikat ta, kaliwang balikat ta, agap ta, baba ta, siyasa ta, baba ta. Manual of Arms is followed by a report. When the Manual of Arms has been completed, the battalion commander then directs tanggapin ang ulat. The adjutant trots forward, holds to his position at the center of the command and directs mag-ulat. Unit commanders in succession from right to left salute and report, Ginoo, balangay, narito na po ang lahat o napag-alaman. The adjutant returns each commander's salute. After receiving the reports, the adjutant faces front, salutes and reports, Ginoo, narito po ang lahat o napag-alaman. Report is followed by the publishing of orders. The battalion commander returns the salute and directs ipahayag ang kautusan. The adjutant faces about and gives the orders. This is done in a prolonged manner. Makinig sa kautusan ang mga nakatalaga ngayon, punong panglarangan or the platoon leader, name and rank of the officer. Punong tagapanangalaga or the company commander, name and rank. Sa utos ni battalion commander, mga pinuno humarap at pumagitna. CAD. Officers' center march will follow after the publishing of orders. At the last note of pumagitna, all officers from the company commanders to platoon leaders, including guidon bearers, execute center phase. After the command of execution of CAD is given, the officers and the guidon bearers march off to the center and halt at predetermined number of steps upon reaching their designated markers. The senior company commander then commands, mga pinuno, rap, CAD. At the last note of rap, the officers and guidon bearers face toward the battalion commander's position and shooves off the command CAD. When they are approximately 6 paces in front of the battalion commander, the senior company commander commands, mga pinuno, to. At the command of execution, to, they count silently. The count of 4, they execute the salute and bring their hands down at 7. The same when they are using swords. Guidon bearers start to execute the equivalent salute at the count of 3 and return same starting at the count of 6. The battalion commander acknowledges the salute, then commands, mga pinuno, sumalunan, CAD. Sumalunan means pabalik. The group of officers execute about face and shoves off towards the center of the troops. As they approach the line of their respective positions, the senior company commander commands, mga pinuno, to, rap, CAD. At the command to, they halt and almost simultaneously with rap, They face their respective positions and show off with the command CAD. At a predetermined number of steps, they halt to occupy their respective positions and face front at the same time. Reporting, publishing of orders, officer center march. If you could observe, all cadets are at order arms and at attention. No extra movements. The last sequence of the ceremonial parade and review is pass in review. When all officers have returned to their posts and the band has stopped playing, the battalion commander directs pasamasid. The battalion passes in review in the same manner as prescribed for a review, except that the units render honors when they are 6 steps to the left of the reviewing stand, or 6 steps before the reviewing stand, and terminate honors when the units are 6 steps to the right of the reviewing stand, or 6 steps after the reviewing stand. When the last elements of the troops have passed the reviewing stand and executed ready front, the troops will continue marching towards the final line. Upon reaching the final line, respective companies execute left flank march to form company in column and platoon in line. During the pass in review, troop commander and staff will execute ice right except the adjutant. Therefore, the units who pass in review shall be acknowledged in salute by the reviewing officer. Only the company commanders and guidon bearers render ice right, while the XOs will remain ice front. All platoon squad leaders will remain ice front, while all other squad members will do ice right.